You're going to man when you ought to be going to God. We're going to get into it. Hi, I'm Joe. Welcome back. This is the Ultimate Love Letter. Thank you for joining the convo. The challenge most of us experience when we turn away from God is we are going to man for answers, all while God is saying, come to Him. Why are we going to the attorney when God is saying, come straight to the judge? Cut out the middleman. I was listening to several people speak this week about how they have quote unquote turned away from religion. Now, I am not religious at all. I am spiritual. And for me, religion means, repetition, rules. Might I say, not a relationship with God, something that's organized, not organic. And so when I hear these people speak about the reason they have turned away from, let's just say, the church, is because they had questions that the church could not answer. But there lies the problem. We're going to man for the answers when God is right there ready to answer every single complex question. The reason why these church leaders, your parents, your grandparents, whoever, the reason why perhaps they can't answer the question is because they don't know. And that tells you everything about their faith walk. It is not for us to get distracted and turn around or turn away from God. It's simply the point where God is saying, draw close to me. Who has the answers but Him? No wonder we're turning our back on God. But in truth, in all reality, it's not fair. It's like it's like if we're going to our supervisors at work to ask questions about the company, all while the owner of the company is saying, my door is wide open. Any answers you need to any questions you have come directly to me. But no, you've given up on the company because your supervisor, a step above you, couldn't answer the complex questions. So you're like, okay, I'll leave the company. All while the door has been open for the owner of the company. Cut out the middleman, go straight to the judge. When we go to others other than God for clarity, then we're really selling ourselves short. We are really making ourselves small because all the rewards that God has for us, the blessings, the strengthening, all the dreams that He placed in our heart are there and available for us to achieve, but He wants us to collaborate with Him. But when we say we should go to the priest first, there's this middle person I have to go to get access to God, we are really playing small because we're saying we don't have the authority to go straight to the top. which is the creator of the universe, which is the Most High. No, no, no. God is living in each and every one of us. God is living in you. You know what it means to say you have the answers already inside of you? That's what it means. In fact, the reason why you have questions is because you know something inside of you is steering you in a totally different direction, perhaps than the church is guiding you. Perhaps what the pastor said on Sunday morning, something that is not sitting right within you, that is God saying, come to me. Perhaps it didn't land correctly. Perhaps it didn't resonate because perhaps it wasn't true. But God is saying only I can give you clarity. The questions you have is God is asking you to go deeper with Him. Now, I had questions. I have questions. I have questions because I know that some, not all, some churches will say, being gay is a sin, and they'll be quick to quote scriptures in the Bible. All while something inside of me is just saying God is far more expansive than that. Like He's not as black and white as that. Something when I hear people in the LGBT community speak from a place of passion that just rings as truth. When I hear them speak about, for instance, how they have prayed to God their entire life to change them if this was a sin, only for God to be speaking to them saying, give up this prayer. I'm not going to change this in you. I can hear the truth in what they say because I hear it within my spirit, which I know that is God. So instead of going to man to try to answer these questions, I simply sit with God. God, tell me what is truth about this situation. And then God reveals the truth within me. Don't give up on God because man cannot answer the difficult questions. When we go to God and we say, but I can't hear Him, but I don't know what's clear, that is another point for us to go deeper. That's actually where God wants you. If we're unable to hear Spirit, that's our work right there. Our work needs to be to gain the clarity, to gain the stillness so that we can hear God speak. And all we need to do there is sit with ourselves in those quiet moments, sit in meditation. Give it 5-10 minutes a day. Just sit there and do nothing but set the intention to hear God speak. And you may not hear it the first time, but when we consistently do it, and I mean, do it 2-3 times, you will begin to hear something rise up within you. Don't doubt it when you hear it. If it sounds like love, if it's just an organic messaging that you might hear deep within, it might sound like a whisper. Or maybe a book falls and the page turns open and there's a one sentence line, something that just grabs your attention. That is God. Don't discount the way He is sending the answers. God uses everything. Music, lyrics, and not just quote unquote Christian or religious music. God uses all the lyrics. God uses everything. Billboards, signs, bumper stickers, commercials, ads, Instagram reels, TikTok memes, all of it. Whatever stands out for whatever reason other than standing out, we can trust that that is God gaining our attention to speak to us the answers to our complex questions. You are blaming God because man can't answer. Man can only answer to the level of the relationship that they have with the divine. Don't trust in man. God says over and over, trust in me. Sorry, not sorry. Your mom, your dad can't answer the questions. Well, they can only answer to the level of relationship that they have. Don't blame God because they can't give you the answers you're seeking. You owe it to yourself to dig deeper. We are only selling ourselves short, cutting ourselves out of our birthright, cutting ourselves out of our inheritance when we say, the priest couldn't answer the question, so that's why I give up on God. Oh, goodness. No, give up on the priest. Don't give up on the Most High. Sit with God. The concerns you have are valid. That is where He wants you to dig deep, to gain that clarity. And you know what else is achieved while you sit in that stillness? Opening up the vessel by which God can pour in the answers to your complex questions. You cultivate organically a relationship with God. And as we begin to cultivate that closeness with God, now it's just you and Him. Now you can walk around life simply collaborating with Him like you would your best friend. The relationship that you seek with your mom and your dad, that relationship opens up to be a closer relationship than anyone you have on earth. I only know it because I'm living it. And I'm becoming emotional because that is my desire, is that everyone can come to have that close relationship. The one where you walk around and when you have questions about anything, life, death, why someone has fallen ill, the dreams that you have to live on 7 different continents at the same time, you can simply say, I'm going to take a walk with God because I got questions, and start just communicating with Him as you're walking in the sunshine. And then He will begin to communicate with you almost like in form. It is possible to have that close relationship. By the time you get back home from your 20-minute walk, you got all the answers. You know where you're going. You know what you're doing, and you know who's funding it. It's God. It is possible. And all it takes is the bravery to simply sit with Him every single day, just a few minutes of a day, and you will draw closer. And as you draw closer, He will draw nearer. And as He draws nearer, you will hear His voice louder and louder, day over day. Yeah, don't blame Him for the reason why the Bible is not clear. Don't blame Him for the reason why the sermon on Sunday came cloudy. Don't blame Him because Dad can't answer those super complex questions. Go to the source. Cut out the middleman. Go straight to the top. Thank you so much for joining this convo. I want to ask you to turn your attention inward for all the answers. As we do that, that is how not only will you begin to draw into that deep, that wellness, drop into and gain your birthright, your inheritance. But that is when we begin to win other souls for the kingdom. Until next time, I want you to love yourself and love others. We'll chat again real soon. Bye for now.